Remote connection. In this chapter, we will introduce you to the web interface of the device. We will not explain on how to configure and connect to the device remotely. Please use any of our technical tutorials on configuration and remote connection options if you wish to learn how to set and connect to the system. Osaya devices are currently supported by Internet Explorer and Firefox web browsers for Windows PC and Safari web browsers for Mac OS. Input the device IP to the address line and connect to the device. When you access the NVR through web browser for the first time, you will need to download and install the web client components. The first interface you will meet is the login page. You can choose the display language on the top right corner of this page. After selecting the language, log into the system using any of the available usernames and passwords. Most of the interfaces are very similar to the local interface. We will direct you to the relevant chapters that relate to the remote interface as we go through. In this chapter, we will explain only about interfaces and features available only in the web client. The buttons and icons on the top right corner of the remote interface are introduced as follows: admin or any other name, showing the logged username. Log out. Click to log out of the system and return to the login page. Modify password. Click to change the password of the current user. Input the current password and set a new password in the pop-up window. Click the OK button to save the new password. Local settings. From here, you will be able to set the destination folder for snapshots and local video records. Set the snapshot number and destination paths and click Apply button to save the settings. The main interface is the live display. In order to view live images from the device, select a window in the preview area and click one of the online cameras on the left panel. This will start live view from the selected channel in the marked window. Switching to different split layouts will fill all the cameras in the listed order. Now we will introduce you to the other interface controls. The left panel contains the camera and in-channel sequence lists. You can hide it by clicking on the left arrow and unhide it by clicking on the right arrow. If necessary, you can search for a camera by its name. The main toolbar at the bottom contains the following icons. Layout button. Use it to choose the screen split layout. OSD button. The OSD or on-screen display button will disable or enable and marking and writings made by the system. It will not affect the camera OSD. Full screen button. Enables full screen mode. Use the right mouse button to exit the full screen mode. All to mainstream button. Switches the entire viewed camera to mainstream. This button will not be available if the number of viewed channels is larger than the system capacity to provide mainstream channels. All to substream button. Switches all the viewed cameras to substream. Manual alarm button. Click on it to trigger or clear the alarm out manually from the pop-up window. You can customize the delay duration for each of the relays. I button when not viewing cameras. Fills all the available windows with live view video streams. I button when viewing cameras. Closes all the live view video streams. Manual record button. Strat remote recording. This will enable recording on the device itself. Microphone button. Will open voice channel with the device audio out port. This feature is not supported by all recording device models. On the right, we have the single camera control interface. Click on the left arrow on panel to show it and the right button to hide it. There are two tables. Operation, which contains control buttons that relate to the video, and PTZ for PTZ operation. The default interface is Operation. We will now introduce you to the operation panel buttons. Snapshot button. Save local snapshots from the camera. Local record button. Record the video from the camera locally on your computer. Click on it again to stop the record. Remote record button. Enable remote manual record for the specific channel. This will be saved on the device. Magnifying glass buttons. To perform digital zoom in and out on the displayed image. Once zoomed in, use the mouse to click and drag the picture. 3D button is still under development and cannot be used at the moment. Mute and volume bar. Use it to unmute and mute the channel's audio input. Use the bar to adjust the volume. Next, we have the PTZ panel. The arrow buttons are used to control the PTZ movement. The slide bar is for setting the movement speed. Zoom buttons for optical zoom control. Focus buttons for focus control. Iris buttons for iris control. The flag button is for preset list. The circled PTZ button is the cruise list. You cannot set presets and cruises from this interface, only from the PTZ configuration interface. Now, we will go to Remote Playback Interface. Click on the Playback tab to access it. Choose the required event types and cameras and set the desired date. Then click on Search. Note that after searching, you will not be able to change the date. You will have to stop the playback and clear to be able to change the searched date. Click on Play or use the mouse cursor over the time bar to play the required time. Now that we have a playback running, we'll introduce the playback controls. Stop button to stop the playback and remove all playback cameras. Rewind to play back the video backwards. Play to play back the video forward. Pause to pause the playback. The pause, play, and rewind buttons will change their location according to the current operation. Decelerate button to reduce the playback speed. The slowest speed is 1/32 from normal speed. Accelerate button to increase the playback speed. The fastest speed is ×32 from the normal speed. Previews frame button will go back a single frame. Next frame button will go forward a single frame. Previous and next frame buttons will only be available in a single channel playback and while the playback is paused. In all other situations, it will be grayed out. 30-second buttons. Skip 30 seconds backwards or forwards. Open scissors to mark the beginning of a required backup segment. Closed scissors to mark the end of a required backup segment. Backup button. This will be used to commence backup tasks. If no backup area is marked, this button will pop up a prompt message. The only file format available for remote backup is AVI. To learn more about backup, please refer to Chapter 11, Search and Backup. Backup Tasks button. Here, you will find all the active backup procedures. You will also be able to see the general progress of the backup tasks. Pause or delete it if necessary. Note that you cannot leave the Playback interface before the backup task is done or it will be cancelled. Event List button. Open a list of events for the playback cameras. Here, you can play back an event or download it instantly to your computer. This summarizes the playback interface. We will now continue to backup interface. In the backup interface, we have two options: backup by event and backup by time. To backup by event, select the event type, set the start and end dates and the relevant cameras, then click on the big search icon in the middle of the interface. Choose from the result list the events you wish to back up and click on Backup. In the pop-up window, choose the desired destination on your computer and click on Backup. The file type as AVI by default and cannot be changed to other format. To backup by time, set the backup start time and end time and choose the required cameras. Once done, Click on the Backup button. In the pop-up window, choose the desired destination on your computer and click on Backup. The file type is AVI by default and cannot be changed to other formats. Backup Tasks tab. Here you will find all the active backup procedures. You will also be able to see the general progress of the backup tasks, pause or delete them if necessary. Note that you cannot leave the Playback Interface before the backup tasks are done or it will be cancelled. Please note that you cannot leave the backup interface as long as there are active backup tasks or they will be cancelled. Next and last is the function panel. It is parallel to the settings of the local interface. All of these settings are identical to the device local interface. Please refer to the configuration chapters 3 through 10 for more information. Please note that not all of the configurations are available to configure remotely. If any of the settings are not available or grayed out, it means that that setting can be done via the local interface only. This finalizes the remote connection chapter and the whole tutorial. This was the full introduction movie for OSIA Provision ISR Operation System. We hope you have enjoyed and wish to thank you once more for joining us.